Hello, everyone. Welcome to Coffee with Comarch Loyalty. My name is Bindu Gupta. I am the head of Loyalty Strategy Consulting at Comarch. In this podcast, we want you to take your coffee break with us and learn something new about marketing and loyalty from experts around the world. In this episode, we sat down with Salim Holder. He's the CEO and co founder of Fourth Ave Market. He is a seasoned marketer and is very successful through his innovative and customer centric approach. We talked about a lot of things, including launching a brand new loyalty program during COVID and how to keep customers engaged through gamification. You definitely don't want to miss this episode. Tune in now. So welcome Salim. Thank you so much for joining us. Can you
Hello.
can you tell a little bit about yourself, your role with the company and your background?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to be here with Comarch today, coffee with Comarch. So cheers to you, Bindu.
Cheers.
But definitely excited to be here. My background experience, as you had mentioned, I got my bachelor's degree in marketing. Worked a few years in logistics and retail management for realizing I was like I didn't want to stay in retail forever. As much as I respect those careers, it just wasn't really for me. So I went back, got my MBA, and then as soon as I got my MBA at Simon University of Rochester, I got my
Yes.
MBA there, and I graduated and I started working with Kimberly Clark. So I'd worked for about a decade in brand management marketing, where I worked for a number of different companies like Kimberly Clark. I managed brands like Kotex, Cottonelle. I managed other feminine care brands, liquor brands, denture adhesive brands, men's grooming brands, and honestly, it just got to a point where I was getting great results in the career, seeing that I was building businesses by millions of dollars. But I kind of got to a point I was like, you know what? If I could do it for them, I could probably do it for myself. And so, literally in January of 2018, I stepped out on faith and I decided I was going to chart a different path for myself. I wasn't exactly sure what it was going to be, but I was like, I knew what I was doing as much as I enjoyed it. It was a great experience, but it was just time for me to do something different. And so as I stepped forward, I started teaching digital marketing with General Assembly. And then I stumbled on this opportunity, which honestly, I thought it was just going to be an opportunity to make a little bit of cash. I had spoke to this broker that I know, it's a sales broker. Her job was get products on the shelves of like Walmart, CVS, Targets, etc. And so I went to her with this idea about a product that I wanted to launch. And she's like, yeah, I think it's a cool idea. But she's like, honestly, Salim, I think you should really focus on this. And she had launched an ethnic and multicultural hair care company online. But
Oh,
she was
okay.
like at a point where she just wanted to retire. She had a number of businesses, she was very successful, but she just wanted to retire. And she's like, I think this is something that you might be able to take and go with. So I called one of my best friends who 10, 15, actually 15 years as a software engineer manager. And I was like, yo, with your background in e-commerce and technology and my experience in marketing, we could probably put our heads together and make a little bit of cash. And honestly, it was like, just make a little cash on the side. But kind of what evolved from a project and opportunity to make a little cash on the side really changed pretty quickly as we start to dig into the category and realizing that the hair care category, textured hair care, 50% of Americans have textured hair care. That's 150 million Americans that are actually forced to shop. And when you go into retail stores, you see the little 4-foot section of the shelf called the ethnic set, right? And so we
Yes.
kind of thought about that. It was like, yo, that's kind of crazy. You got all these people shopping this little ethnic set, but so many people were actually disappointed. But as we looked at it, so this is a $2 billion market. Just the black consumers alone make up $2 billion, 85% of sales, but they only own 7% of the stores. And so, with a
Wow.
high amount of dissatisfaction, what I believe to be a high level of misunderstanding about the community and the value that this community represented, we actually saw all of a sudden this opportunity from this online website was like, wow, we can actually turn this into a platform because it's needed. So as consumers, 60% were leaving the stores and going online to shop. As I looked around, I was like, there's not really a well-known consolidated location that people can go to get products and information. You can get products on Amazon, but it's just like a
Right.
database. You gotta kind of know what you're looking for. But when you want to know, will this work for my hair type? Will this work for me, etc.? Other discover new products, you needed a different platform. And as I turned around and looked, I said, wow, that's what we have. And what we also didn't realize is that overnight, when we bought the site from her, well, we overnight we became the largest black-owned online retail platform for ethnic and multicultural hair care in the US, over 7,000 products on it. And so
That's
we launched
awesome.
this to start making money, but we evolved it as a way that we could really actually give back, and see the money get recycled back into our communities as well. So that's been my
That's
mission since I
wonderful.
left.
Yes, that's wonderful. And I know there's a history behind the name of Fourth Ave
Yes.
Market.
Yes, definitely. So, some people have heard of Black Wall Street, which was in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It was an area of strong economic presence for the Black community. But it wasn't just the Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma. There were a number of these different areas throughout the country. And Fourth Avenue District was one of those areas. Fourth Avenue District in Birmingham, Alabama, was one of those areas. And in fact, you've seen this area if you've ever seen the iconic footage from the civil rights movement or civil rights time, when you've seen people getting laid out with fire hoses, kids getting laid out with fire hoses or attacked with the German Shepherds. That happened in the center of Fourth Avenue District. Or the 16th Street Baptist Church bombing, where the 4 little girls were bombed. That happened in the center of Fourth Avenue District. At the time, 60% of Black-owned business was done right in the middle of that district, of that Fourth Avenue district in Birmingham. And so we looked at that and said, as we saw that dollar would go around that community, it was more than just making money. It was a community that was actually empowering each other and that was helping each other and sharing with each other. So we want to take those same values and bring it into Fourth Ave and think about the 21st century model of that, and not even just specifically for the Black community, but thinking of communities of color and other communities that could truly benefit from having a stronger voice. So that's where Fourth Ave came
Absolutely.
from.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful, and I love the fact that you got this idea and then completely went into it. It takes a lot of courage, so that's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, it
So
was
of
definitely tough.
course, of, yes, of course, COVID impacted everything, everyone. How did it, impact, a newerish, business like yours? And how did
Hmm.
you handle that? Like, what steps did you take?
So it forced us to. It was actually pretty amazing, in the timing of it all, because for us, we actually were about to start doing some advertising. We had launched the program. We had people coming to the site. We were trying to improve the site experience, so more and more people would actually purchase and find what they wanted on the site. And as soon as that, more and more people were coming, more and more people were purchasing and finding what they want. COVID hit. And when COVID hit,
Mhm.
immediately there was two things. That one, we were just putting money into advertising, seeing things were actually going up. But the good part of what we were doing as an online retail platform is COVID actually made it even better for us because of the fact
True.
that people couldn't go to the stores. And as I mentioned, there's a lot of people in the community that we're targeting that are still trying to figure out, where can I find these products for me? So in that,
Right.
outside of that 4-foot ethnic set that they go to, there's a lot of stores in our community that do have products. But without those stores or without the other retail stores, then it's like a lot of consumers are going online, going at a site at a time to try to find products, which was difficult. And then all of a sudden, they start to find us as they were searching for an e-commerce space. But then as COVID hit, the other impact is it hit a lot of people was, and our distributor couldn't ship products out for a good 3 weeks because of the fact that they had, everybody was sick. Nobody could go to work. So once
Right.
everybody came back and everybody was healthy, we started to be able to ship again, and we start to see our sales go up significantly. Um, the other thing that happened, around that same time was obviously when George Floyd and the whole, kind of peak of this Black Lives Matter movement, and so that made what I believe was already top of mind for a lot of Americans more now aware and top of mind for mainstream America to see. And that's
Hmm.
why, I mean, we started the business already. This was our mindset of kind of going after some of these ails that impact our community. And so we start to go down that path, and we start to see this really strong uh, response from the community. As the community is really excited about what we were doing. And so what we saw at that time, though, was it was important for us to actually build the community. So as we
Right.
would bring people in and they would come in and they would buy, we were like, what we need to do is we need to give them incentives to keep them coming back. We need to
Right.
find a reason to focus on retention and how can we keep these people and make sure they have an amazing experience and make sure they can continue to come back. and they can continue to do more and more. And so for us, it became really important that as people were finding us this way, that they were kind of stumbling by accident to find us. And that it was also going to be a time where we were like, they could easily go right back to what they were doing before. But we don't want them to do that. We want to keep them. So
Right.
retention became really important for us during this time because we knew how we were getting people. So that's kind of how it kind of shifted and how it started to impact and shift a little bit of our strategy.
Perfect. So what I understand is that retention, you took one step forward and you actually launched a loyalty program during COVID. Is that right?
Absolutely, absolutely, yes. It was that important to us that we were like, we need to do something and not just, give a coupon here or there, but like to truly launch the program and think about how we can like put a whole heart effort in prioritizing the needs of these consumers who've already come, they've already purchased on our site. Some of them had a great experience, many of them had a great experience. So we said, how can we continue to elevate this, make sure their experiences continues to be great? So we put incentives in place, we put different things. Now we're learning, it's like
Yeah.
we're learning with the program as a startup still, we're trying to figure out where do we put our money. But we just figured, everybody kind of that old adage of just, it's easier to keep or less expensive to keep who you have coming than it is to get new
Yes.
people. So we were like, you
Exactly.
know what? Let's keep who we have here and let's do what we can to focus on them. So we then prioritize. That's why we launched the program and we've been really, working on it. I mean, obviously we've spoken to you a number of times and got
Yeah.
some counsel from Comarch on how we can even focus on the program, how your advice was invaluable of how we should think about the program, how we could think about the strategies behind the program. So we had to launch it and it's been moving in the right direction, so we're really excited about it.
That's awesome, and we're so glad we could help. I mean, this is definitely the right time, even though it sounds like everything is chaotic and there is so much discussion about where to put your marketing dollars.
Yeah.
But what we have seen as a trend is a lot of big brands also revamped their loyalty programs during this time. Like Sephora did,
Yes.
and Gap did, Kohl's
Yeah.
did. So you can see the mindset changing. Obviously, it's the need of the hour to retain your
Yeah,
customer now.
definitely.
It's not
Definitely.
difficult for them to switch, right? Like especially
Not at
now,
all. Yep.
everything is literally at their fingertips. So very easy to
I,
switch. So you definitely did
yeah.
the right thing
Yes.
by launching that. And I know that it's going to grow and there's going to be a lot more demand for it.
Yep.
So definitely wish you really a lot of luck there. And
Yes.
we're
Yes.
obviously here for
Yes.
anything else.
For sure. For
Awesome.
sure.
And I know that it's also not easy to retain them. Launching a program is obviously important and a
Mhm.
great tactic. But what do you feel like? What are the other ways you can keep them engaged on an ongoing basis, and kind of give them maybe if it's not even transactional, but something
Yeah.
to engage with the brand with, right?
Yeah.
So do
Yeah.
you have anything in the works or already you're
Absolutely.
working on there?
Yeah, so to us, we recognize that for us, it's all about offering value back to our customer base, right? People only do things when they think there's going to be something of value in it for them. And so what we looked at is, as being a platform that helps people discover the products, we have 7,000 products on the platform. That's a lot of products for people to have to go through, right? And so what we decided to do was especially for no, it's not just for our loyal customers, but it's, especially for helping people who are loyal to have a better time on the platform. We've launched this hair quiz, and we just launched it this week. And the idea behind the hair quiz was there's a ton of different hair quizzes that are out there. But what we recognize that we could do as a store is that we could actually connect the results of the hair quiz back to the products that we recommend and to do it in a very scientific way where we actually partnered with a chemist who could actually go and look at the different ingredients and the different chemicals or so that works with different hair structures and hair textures. So as you have a one hair texture or a 2B or 2C or whatever your hair texture, kinky, coily, curly, whatever, we now actually have mapped the ingredients in products and found products with these ingredients.
Very
And
cool.
now when you get results from the hair quiz results are going to be scientifically connected to here are the products that will work for your hair type. And so what we found is that a lot of people, we can help with the information, not just having products, but to help inform people of how to find the right products. Because we know there's this discovery mindset that takes place in this category, people looking to discover new items, new products, etc. But a lot of times people don't know that I never even heard of hair type before, like, a couple months back, And so understanding now just having a different hair structure, hair texture means you need different products. So there's a reason why certain products don't work. Like, this is why there's so many of these consumers that have textured hair that are going into the store and that are frustrated
Right.
because they're like, the products don't work for me. And it's not because of the skin color, it's because of your hair texture. That texture is different. So while a
Yeah.
majority of people have the type 1 hair or so, if you have type 3 or type 4 hair, those products just don't work on that hair texture. And that's the challenge that a lot of these consumers find themselves in. And that's why we can start. So we said, let's educate. And so we try to make it into a more fun kind of a game. So, make it more,
Yeah.
interactive, so it's not just reading and watching videos, but it's interactive. So we try to take a more interactive, gamified approach to being to help people, to give them a reason to come back to the site. And it's not always just about incentives with dollars or percentages off, but it's like they come back because they know they get more value for what they're looking
Yeah.
for. So
Absolutely. I love that idea. And gamification is definitely something, more and more brands are picking up now. And
yep,
it's just not about, always about, as you said, just the incentive or the discount. It's about
yep,
providing value to them. And I love the idea that you took such a scientific approach to that. And, if you connect it to your, ID of the person who's actually taking the quiz, you know exactly, what their data points are, and you can use it to personalize even further. So which is
definitely, definitely.
great.
Yes,
Which is
yes,
awesome.
yeah. And
Awesome.
that really is
That's
the whole
great.
goal.
Yes, yes, exactly. Perfect. So just one last thing before we
Sure.
get into the fun, fun part of the, our podcast. So what do you think is the biggest opportunity, right now for loyalty? You
Yeah.
feel, there's maybe the one thing, you want us to take away from it?
Yeah, for me, it's the thing I mentioned was value. There's so many options now. It's so easy to get access to new options, to try different things. There's such a barrage of information that we get from social media to friends to influencers, etc., that maintaining loyalty is really about, end of the day, being the one that's offering the greatest value. And so what we've really tried to do best is not just have a program, because like, oh great, we can have a program and have points just like anybody else, but it's like, what's the value that we're offering to somebody, and then giving them an incentive for that value, to get that value. And so it's then so that's where I think has been our biggest challenge as we think about
Yeah.
creating a loyalty program. It's like there's a lot of them out there, there's a lot of really good ones out there, and but at the same time, customers are, they're like, in some cases they're kind of fickle, like they're like, I'm gonna go over here
Yes,
today, and I'm gonna be over here again. So I think it's
exactly.
it's it's how do we create that value that really makes people want to come back, not for our purposes, but so because they're getting more of what they want.
Yes, absolutely. And that ties in with the customer centricity, we talked about. So
Yes. Yes.
absolutely agree with that. When you center the program and your goals around what the pain points are for your customer and how you
Hmm.
can provide them value instead of just thinking, oh, how can I make this additional purchase, happen for my brand? So that
Yep.
the switch in that mindset definitely shows in the actions the brands take. So love
Yeah.
that. Totally on board with that. Awesome. So before we, say goodbye, we have a very quick fun challenge for you. It's called 10 under 1. I'm going to throw 10 questions at you in 1 minute. So that's a timer. And let's see how many, you can answer. And these are, just kind of a choice questions, rapid
Hmm.
fire. So not
Okay.
long answers or anything. Just let's see where's Salim's mind at. So so I'm gonna start the timer, and
Okay.
I will start the questions, and let's get through all 10 of them. All right.
Let's do it.
Okay, how many loyalty program apps do you have on your phone right now?
Probably 4.
All right, personalization or general discounts? What do you prefer?
First edition.
Oh, sorry, I said personalization.
Oh, personalization. Ha! Personalization for sure.
All
Personalization.
right. Okay, only milk or only sugar in your coffee?
I'm not a big coffee drinker, so I would say sugar then.
All right. Free delivery or same day delivery?
Same day. I want it now.
Same day. Ah, you were ready to pay for it. Free loyalty program or paid loyalty program?
Free.
Free. Instant rewards or tier status?
Tiered status.
Brands that make you feel good or brands that offer savings?
Make me feel good.
Okay, would you? Oh, sorry. Well, but you did great. You did 7 out of 10.
7. Okay. All
That's
right.
awesome.
I was talking
That's
too
awesome.
much.
But it's also on me because I fumbled for one of the questions. So yeah, let's say 8. Let's say 8.
Okay,
Let's just
cool,
leave
cool.
it. Awesome. Well, this was great. Thank you so much for your time and sharing your insights. We love the fact that you launched a program during COVID and you're thinking about gamification to retain your customers. And of course, there's a lot more coming.
Yep.
I know there are big things ahead of fourth Ave Market. So really, really loved having you here. And hopefully we can have another chat soon
Absolutely.
once you kind of hit the crazy number of subscribers to
Yep.
our memberships for your for your loyalty
Yes,
program. We'll do this again for sure.
for sure. Well, listen, thanks again for having me. I really appreciate it. Love what you all are doing with this platform. I think it's great, and I'm honored to have been here for it.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much. And for those who are tuning in, thank you for joining us and having this coffee break with
it.
us.
Yes.
Definitely, stay tuned for more podcast episodes. We will be seeing you soon. Thank you.